Thinking about moving to Washington, D.C. As the nation's capital and one of the most politically significant cities in the world, D.C. offers incredible opportunities and unique experiences. However, it also comes with some significant challenges that you should know about before making the move here. In today's video, I'm going to go over not just the pros, but also the cons to help you decide if Washington, D.C. is the right place for you. And some of the cons may surprise you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brad, a local realtor here in the Washington, D.C. area. And with that, let's start with pro number one. So pro number one is the job market. In and around Washington, D.C., it's one of the most stable and well-rounded cities in the country. There is a strong foundation of federal jobs and related industries like law, defense, and cybersecurity, but that's only part of the story. What surprises a lot of people is how strong the private sector is here. You have consulting, tech, healthcare, education, and nonprofits. They all play a huge role in the local economy. Some of the major employers include Amazon's second headquarters, Capital One, the North American headquarters of Audi and VW, and a wide variety of defense contractors as well. Amazon alone has already added 5,000 jobs, with over 25,000 expected as HQ2 continues to grow. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Many tech companies are moving in to support Amazon and tap into the area's top tier talent. Also, here's a lesser known fact. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that DC actually has more tech jobs than Silicon Valley. And if you add in a large diplomatic community, dozens of embassies and international organizations, and you've got a dynamic job market that attracts professionals from all over. On top of that, the average salaries in DC are about 40% higher than the national average, and the average household income sits at $141,000. While the job market is thriving, that prosperity comes with a significant impact. This is the flip side of DC's economic success. Con number one is the high cost of living. Housing prices in the DC area have been climbing steadily, with the median home price now topping $650,000, and it's still on the rise. In many popular neighborhoods, a two-bedroom condo will run between $600,000 and $800,000, and a 3 to 4 bedroom home often goes for well over $1 million. Rents are also among the highest in the country. A 1-bedroom apartment averages around $2,300 a month, and that's if you can find one in a prime location. Parking adds another layer of cost. Spaces in residential buildings can go for $200 to $300 per month, and street parking is quite limited. Living in DC definitely comes at a premium. Daily expenses like groceries and dining out tend to be higher than the national average, about 12% more for groceries and 20% more for eating out. Though I will tell you there's some nice restaurants in DC, so it can go well above that 20% if you let it. While DC is still more affordable than cities like New York and San Francisco, it ranks as the 6th most expensive city in the US. That said, many residents find the vibrant culture, job opportunities, and walkable neighborhoods well worth the price tag. Despite these higher costs, many professionals are drawn to DC for its exceptional cultural amenities and educational opportunities. Pro number two, cultural attractions. Washington, D.C. is packed with culture, history, and experiences you won't find anywhere else, and a lot of it's completely free. It's home to the Smithsonian Institution, which includes 21 world-class museums and galleries that are open to the public at no cost. These museums typically attract over 30 million visitors a year. However, when you're local, you know that you can avoid the crowds by attending many of them have these after hours events or attend during the off season. At the heart of DC though is the National Mall. And no, it's not a shopping center, but yet a stunning 1,000-acre stretch of green space filled with iconic monuments, memorials, and reflecting pools. Just beyond the mall, DC boasts a vibrant performing arts scene with venues like the Kennedy Center, National Theater, and countless smaller little theaters. And they offer everything from Broadway shows to indie plays. With over 175 embassies, DC is one of the most globally diverse cities in the country. You'll find cultural festivals, authentic cuisine from every corner of the world. It's quite cool. And there are over more than 70 museums and attractions to explore as well. You have events like the Cherry Blossom Festival are very popular for people in and outside of the city. In fact, as I'm recording this, it's in the middle of the Cherry Blossom Festival. There are thousands of cherry trees blossoming all over the city, and they're just hitting peak bloom, and it's quite beautiful. So whether you're into sports or history, art, or live music, there's anything from cozy clubs to packed stadiums. DC definitely delivers world-class experiences year-round. Now, while DC's cultural scene is impressive, getting around the city to enjoy those amenities can sometimes be challenging. Con number 2 is traffic and transportation. Getting around DC definitely has its challenges. Rush hour traffic on major roads like I-495, the Beltway, and I-66 can be a major headache, especially with ongoing construction projects. The American Legion Bridge, which carries cars between Virginia and Maryland, is currently one of the worst spots in the area while it undergoes its expansion. DC consistently ranks as one of the top 10 worst cities in the U.S. for traffic congestion, with the average commuter losing about 155 hours a year in their cars. Now, we do have an amazing public transportation system that we call the Metro, which covers a lot of ground in the area with 98 stations across the entire region. But recently, it's had its fair share of maintenance issues and service disruption, which can cause delays. And like most major cities, parking is also pretty limited, especially in the more popular neighborhoods or the downtown area. My wife and I gave up our second car years ago. Since then, I usually opt for Uber when I'm not walking. It definitely saves the stress and time of hunting for parking or dealing with pricey garages. I still drive in the city for sure, just not all neighborhoods are easy to park. And Uber is certainly not cheap, but it beats the cost of a second car, at least for us. DC's streets layout is notoriously unique as well, with diagonal avenues and traffic circles that can even throw off the most experienced drivers. And in this fast-paced driving culture like there is here in the city, and you throw in some wild weather, and it's easy to see why commuting can get a little tricky. Now, while ride-sharing options are everywhere these days, they can get pricey during peak hours, especially peak tourist hours. So it's all about the timing and flexibility when you're trying to navigate the city. It's also worth noting that the major highways in the area do feature HOV lanes and express toll lanes, which can help. Express toll lanes allow you to pay a toll to avoid the congested traffic and go on a separate lane. So despite all these transportation challenges, DC's neighborhoods offer diverse and vibrant communities with distinct character and amenities, which leads us to pro number 3, and that is diverse neighborhoods and strong communities. One of the things that really makes DC special is how every neighborhood has its own vibe, whether you're drawn to the historic streets of Georgetown, the energy of Logan Circle, or the artsy, eclectic vibe of DuPont. There's definitely a neighborhood that fits just about every lifestyle. Many areas are incredibly walkable with local cafes, shops, and community hangouts just steps away from most houses. There's a strong sense of pride and connection with most neighborhoods. People tend to really love where they live, and it creates a cool kind of tight-knit, welcoming atmosphere. You'll see a beautiful mix of architecture and housing styles, anything from charming row houses to sleek modern condos. And they're typically tucked among these tree-lined streets. So with over 130 neighborhoods packed in the city and over 68 square miles. There's a ton of variety and a lot of history too. Many of the areas are officially recognized as historic district, which helps preserve their really cool, unique character. However, I'll tell you, don't fear the historic districts, as the regulations typically only apply to the exterior facade, so basically the original architecture of the house. Now, with 80% of residents living within a 10-minute walk of a park, community farmers market, or festivals, it's easy to feel right at home and typically easy for newcomers as well. While the neighborhoods are charming, DC's rapid development has brought significant changes that not everyone appreciates. Con number 3 is gentrification and a changing character. So DC has seen a huge wave of development over the past couple of decades, and it's completely transformed many neighborhoods, most for the better, others with some controversy. While there's many new buildings and new businesses, and they brought like fresh energy and investment, they've also led to like rising housing costs that have pushed out a lot of the longtime residents in some areas. Many locals feel that parts of the city are losing their culture identity as luxury developments replace some of the more affordable housing options. The divide between neighborhoods remains sharp in some areas, even as growth continues. Since 2000, DC has gained nearly 100,000 residents, with the current population is just over 700,000. Some neighborhoods have seen property values like more than triple. Now, that's not in every neighborhood, but while the city has lost an estimated 40,000 affordable housing units, so as you can imagine, that kind of like rapid change has sparked mixed reactions. While some welcome the new amenities and rising home values, others are deeply concerned about the displacement and the income equality. So and that equality, by the way, remains among the highest in the country. So creating affordable housing options is a big focus for the city right now. The city has a plan to increase affordable housing, and it's something that most new developments have to incorporate. Even with these growing pains, one of DC's standout features is exceptional educational opportunities and intellectual environment. Pro number 4 is educational excellence. DC is a hub for education and innovation, with some of the nation's most prestigious universities like Georgetown, George Washington, and American University calling the city home. In fact, the DC area boasts over 20 colleges and universities, making it a magnet for students, academics, and lifelong learners. The new Virginia Tech Innovation Campus is a graduate-level facility that just opened in nearby Alexandria. It focuses on computer science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and other tech-related fields. The city also offers a wide range of K-12 options, including top-rated public and private schools, magnet programs, and charter schools. DC is invested pretty heavily in education, with per pupil spending among the highest in the country, and over 60% of the residents have a bachelor's degree or higher, which is nearly double the national average. Beyond the classroom, the intellect here is hard to miss. DC is home to more than 400 think tanks and research institutions. It's the highest concentration in the world. That means access to an incredible lineup of lectures, book talks, and events. Whether you're a student, you're a parent, or you're just curious like me, DC offers an inspiring environment to keep learning and to keep growing. While there are many educational opportunities, DC's climate presents some challenges that newcomers should definitely consider. Con number 4 is weather extremes. DC definitely gives you all 4 seasons, But summers are really steal the show and not always in the most comfortable way. July and August are hot and humid with temperatures often pushing like past 90 degrees, and the heat index regularly soars to over 100 during that time. The city typically sees about 40 to 45 days a year in that high heat zone, so expect the cooling bills to kind of jump during the summer months. Winters are a mixed bag. Average temperatures usually sit between 30 and 50 degrees, but cold snaps can drop things into the 20s. And snowfall, I would categorize as moderate here. So it's around 14 inches on average per year. That's spread throughout the winter, but even a few inches can slow the city to a crawl due to we have limited snow removal equipment and also a lot of traffic in the area. Spring is beautiful with typical highs in the 50s to 70s. However, it does come with high pollen counts, which can be rough for allergy sufferers. Also, fall is stunning with like crisp air and colorful leaves, but it does tend to come and go quickly. So you got to get out and enjoy it while it's here. And so while weather extremes isn't common in the area, we have seen a rise of flooding and intense storms. Likely those are attributed to climate change. So yes, you get a little bit of everything in DC. So just be ready for the occasional curveball from Mother Nature. Okay, so despite weather challenges, DC offers an exceptional outdoor space and recreational environment throughout the year. So pro number 5 is outdoor recreation. One of DC's biggest perks is how much green space is woven into the city. With over 7,800 acres of parkland, nearly 21% of the city is dedicated to parks and open spaces, which is pretty remarkable for a major metropolitan area. From tiny pocket parks to sprawling recreational areas, DC has more than 400 outdoor public spaces to explore. The National Mall offers 146 acres of open space right in the heart of the city. And just a bit further north, you'll find Rock Creek Park, which is a natural forest area that's more than twice the size of Central Park. It clocks in at right over 1,700 acres. You've also got the easy to access the Potomac and Anacostia River for kayaking and paddleboard or boating, or just relaxing by the water. If you love being active, DC has definitely got you covered. The city features about 180 miles of bike lanes, a wide network of trails like the Capitol Crescent Trail, which connects neighborhoods and extends out into the suburbs. And if you're up for a bigger adventure, parts of the Appalachian Trail are just a short drive away. So it's no surprise that DC ranks as the top park system in the country, as ranked by the Trust. I think it's the Trust for Public Land that rates that. It's a great place to stay connected to nature and keep active even in the middle of the city. So while outdoor amenities are plentiful, the city's political nature creates kind of a unique social environment that isn't for everybody. Con number 5 is political intensity and transience. In DC, politics is part of the culture. It naturally works its way into a lot of conversations, especially in social settings. With each new administration or election cycle, the city experiences turnover. So it's common for people to come and go every few years. In fact, about 14% of the population changes annually compared to the national average of 10%. I do want to share this, though. If all you know of DC is from watching the news, politics doesn't dominate the culture here. It definitely plays a role. But if you want to enjoy all that DC has to enjoy outside of politics, that is absolutely possible here. However, it is a place where you often get, what do you do, as a question, the first question at a party or a happy hour. And networking is built into the social scene here. Many events double as like opportunities to make professional connections, which can be a huge advantage for those focused on their careers, but it also can make it feel a little harder to form kind of those authentic relationships. Roughly 14% of DC residents work in government, and around 12% work in government-related fields. Along with the other industries and with such high-achieving, fast-paced environment, the city naturally leans towards like a work-focused culture. That said, many people thrive in it, using the intensity to like fast-track their careers. While the work-life balance can be tricky, it's also part of what draws ambitious people from all over the world to live and work in the nation's capital. And with all of this hard work, DC is a world-class city and offering like plenty of opportunities to play as well. So as we wrap up our pros and cons, let's consider who Washington, D.C. is truly ideal for. Washington, D.C. offers an exceptional quality of life for many, but it's not perfect for everybody. If you value career opportunities, cultural richness, diverse neighborhoods, and educational excellence, D.C. could be your ideal home. However, if you're seeking affordability or a laid-back lifestyle, you might want to consider other options. The truth is, finding the right community depends on you. And if you're seriously thinking about moving or have questions or want someone who knows the Washington, D.C. area, then reach out to me. My info is on the screen and in the description below. Also, make sure to check out this next video to learn more about the Washington, D.C. area.